Alrighty, guys and gals, what is going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well today. This is a completely different video than anything you've seen on the channel before. This is going to be a reaction video, and I have never done a reaction video, so to speak. But one of my subs, Mr. Matthew, he sent me a link, and he said to me, it's a link to a video. It's called WoW's Darkest Secret. I can see that up here. And it says he wanted me to do a reaction video to it. So I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. So actually, he got me on Facebook, and I was looking at what he sent, and there's a thing in it that says, watch the video, but don't look at the comments at all. So I sure hope this is appropriate for YouTube, Matthew. So I have no idea what this is. I've never heard of this before. But let's just jump into it. It's like 20 minutes long, so let's just press play here and see what this is about. Fucking already jump scared. House Hexagon. It's like some X-Files stuff happening here. I like the production so far.
I'm going to start this off by saying whatever the hell you do not look in the comment section below. Though I don't usually get many, if any, comments on my productions, the ones that are there will no doubt spoil what is to come. So go into full screen mode and let me show you this, because I promise you, it's going to blow your mind.
Really?
I believe I've made a WoW discovery that literally no one else has ever found. No matter how much I try to look it up, there's never any results. No DuckDuck searches, no YouTube.
Wait, wait, DuckDuckGo? I think that's a UK thing, right? Before we go on, I want to say I think I have actually discovered something in game, and we've covered it before on the channel, but I'll skip over that for right now. Let's get back to this.
Nothing. And that's pretty damn surprising,
UK.
Considering this is a game from 2004 that we're talking about here. This is the vanilla WoW world map.
Yes, it is.
As you can see, there's only two continents, Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. Let me ask you a question. Out of all the zones in these two continents, which one is the most forgettable? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it.
Hold on, let's pause here. The most forgettable on the two continents? Wow. So let's see. I would say maybe Ghostlands, up where the area that you come out of as a blood elf, that first starting area, or whatever that's called. Silithus, for sure, right? I know the raid is there. Silithus. Maybe... I don't know about Feralus. Desolus, probably. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know.
Alright, time's up. I imagine that the vast majority of people probably answered with Desolus, Silithus, Alterac Mountains, Deadwind Pass, you know, the usual suspects. But there's one zone in Vanilla WoW that literally everyone knows about, but is almost universally forgotten.
Really?
And that zone is Stonetalon Mountains. Stonetalon Mountains is a contested zone that shares a border
I guess I
with the
could see
Barrens
that.
and Desolus. The fact that it's a contested zone is quite interesting in of itself, as despite there being many low-level Horde quests available here, for Alliance players, there's almost nothing at all.
There's a handful.
In fact, I'd be willing to bet that if you're an Alliance main like me, you've probably never even been here before.
Stonetalon Peak, man.
The zone itself has an extremely unusual design, and there really is nothing else like it in the game. It's essentially one giant valley that connects to 3 different open chasms that are completely different to one another. Due to the zone's odd layout and frustrating quests, even many Horde players tend to skip it entirely when leveling. But I'm not here to talk about the zone or even its quests, but something much, much weirder. We all know that WoW has a day-night cycle that is in sync with the server's time zone. If it's daytime in real life, then it will be daytime in game too. If it's nighttime in real life, then it will be nighttime in game too. A zone's atmosphere can change significantly depending on whether it's day or night, but this is true especially for Stonetalon Mountains. During the day, Stonetalon Mountains just looks and feels like a pretty typical looking place. A bit of trees here, a bit of grass there, but at night, this zone and the way it feels to be in it almost completely changes. From the hours of midnight to 5 AM, music no longer plays in the zone. Instead, all you can hear is this strange wind ambience that sounds really freaky.
I don't know if I've ever noticed that there's no music at night.
What's weirder is that at night, the entire zone has this creepy red tint to it for seemingly no reason, and there's a ton of fog that limits how far you can see. Not sure if you can really notice it here, but the difference when it's daytime is really, well, night and day. Now obviously when I first discovered this, I was confused just as much as you probably are. Why is it like this? No other zone has effects like these at night.
Okay, well I gotta say that never occurred to me. There are other areas in Warcraft that are weird like this, but I guess he's trying to make a point here.
It just seems weird. And again, no matter how much I looked into it, no one had an answer. But that's not even why I'm making this, because yeah, it's weird, but it could just be some sort of attempt at atmospheric immersion.
Right.
No, I'm making this because of a strange phenomenon that kept happening to my character here. If you know me, then you'll know that I'm pretty much nocturnal, as in seriously nocturnal. I'm always up at night and in the early hours of the morning because that's just how I like it. As a result, whenever I play WoW, it's always in the dark. That's how I noticed how weird Stonetalon Mountains was in the first place. In classic WoW, I had an orc warrior called Warzerk that I would occasionally level up to see what the Horde side of the game was like. Just a way to relax and see what I would have otherwise missed out on my alliance.
Nice shoulders, bro.
Stonetalon Mountains was one of the zones I ended up leveling in. I remember being taken aback at what a weird, almost psychedelic dreamscape the zone felt like. It reminded me of somewhere where a nightmare would take place, but again, I didn't think anything of it.
He's laying it on a little thick, I gotta say.
This is a screenshot I took at 2:14 AM on the 20th of October 2020.
Ganked?
I'm in the Windshear Crag part of the zone, and as you can see, my character is dead. You're probably thinking that a mob must have got me or something, but no. The reason I took this screenshot is because my character just died, instantly, for no reason whatsoever. I was just running around doing some quest when he just dropped dead. At first I thought that maybe a high-level rogue had got me, then vanished or something, but
right.
I didn't see any. And according to my combat log, nothing happened. He just died. I kept this screenshot because I thought I would put it in a future production of mine, as at the time there was a lot of uproar about how badly Blizzard maintained classic WoW, with there being a ton of bots and gold sellers flying around. I figured it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for there to be bugs like this too, as, after all, this is Blizzard we're talking about here. Either way, I rezzed up and carried on with my questing before heading off for the night. 24 hours later, and I am, once again, questing in the Windshear Crag. Everything was going smoothly, until once again, bam. It happened again. Instant death, no combat log, just dead.
Wait, the same time?
Quite like this.
Did you see the time?
Yeah, WoW could be buggy, but it's never been this bad.
It's 2:14.
I looked back at the screenshot I took the night before and noticed something really unusual. The time of death on both shots was exactly the same, 2:14 AM. That was just way too much of a coincidence to ignore. I tried to make a post on r/classicwow to ask if anyone knew what kept happening to my character.
r/classicwow?
And then I was banned for no reason. So, yeah, pretty standard. I decided that this was way too much of a coincidence to ignore, So I conjured a plan. The next night at 2:14 AM, I would have my recorder on, just in case my character died again, so that I would have proof of this weird bug in action. The following is what I captured.
No way. Listen to the ambience there, though. That is pretty spooky.
Nothing. I waited around for a few minutes longer, but it just wasn't happening. I figured that it really must have been just a weird coincidence. Feeling disappointed, I turned off my recorder and carried on questing. But then, boom. It happened again. This time at 2:47 AM. 3 deaths in a row on 3 different days. But why was this one at a different time than the others? The only difference I noticed between the last shot and the first 2 is that on the last one, I was at the Charred Vale part of the zone, whereas with the first 2, I was in the Windshear Crag. So, I had another idea. What if I went to the Windshear Crag at 2:14 AM?
No way.
And had my recorder on then instead?
There's no
Maybe
way,
there,
man.
It would happen again. So, once again, I set my character there and waited.
2:14. What server is this guy on? Wait. Okay. And I'm not an idiot. Did you see when his character died? Did you see the animation there? Like he used something. I saw something there. Hold on. Back that up, man. Right there. Look at this. What is that? I'm not stupid, man.
Holy shit. I now had video evidence of this so-called bug in action. But honestly, at this point, I was starting to think there has to be something more to this. Out of curiosity, I wondered that if I went to the Charred Vale at
He used
2:47
something.
AM, if it would happen there too. Sure enough, it did.
Okay, watch his character. Yeah, he used something.
2:14 AM in the Windshear Crag and 2:47
This is like a
AM in
weird
the
bug
Charred
or
Vale.
something?
I didn't know what it was, but for some reason, at those times, my character would always just drop dead. It was as if there was an invisible GM playing some sort of practical joke or something like that. But we're not done yet. At the very top of the zone lies the third chasm, the Stonetalon Peak. A very leafy and soothing place compared to the other 2.
This is the
I wondered if
Alliance
the weird deaths
hub
occurred
right
there
here.
too. Sure enough, they did. 2:28 AM.
There's no
I
way.
tested this again the next day, and it happened yet again. 2:14 AM in the Windshear Crag, 2:47 AM in the Charred Vale, 2:28 in the Stonetalon Peak. Every night, at those times, my character would die without failure or explanation.
Okay. I don't know where this is going, but I'm not convinced. I feel like this guy has something hotkeyed here just because of that animation you get, like when you drink a potion or something. Also, I am also nocturnal, and I have played all through the night for years and been in these areas, and this has never happened to me. So let's see where this thing goes, man.
It would never happen in the valley part of the zone, only in the chasms at those exact times. This wasn't a coincidence.
Okay, well that's
I
interesting.
tried to see if anyone else was in the zone at the same time as me, but literally no one ever was.
What server
Not
is
too
this guy on?
surprising, as this character is on Dragonfang, which is...
Dragonfang.
Yeah, a very dead server.
I've
to
never
say
even
the
heard of
least.
that.
None of my friends still played, so I couldn't exactly ask them to get a subscription just to test this. And whenever I would ask other people to come to Stonetalon Mountains...
Want to come to
so that I
Stonetalon
could
Mountains
drop
so I can
dead,
watch you
they
die?
were, surprisingly uncooperative. I decided to do some hardcore research to see if anyone else had noticed this, scrubbing almost the entire internet for even a nugget of information. But alas, nothing.
I've never heard of
Well,
this before.
Nothing Except that 2 years ago, back when Classic WoW launched, an old Blizzard developer who had long since left the company, Mike Crond, did a Q&A on the r/WoW subreddit, whereby he answered people's questions about what it was like developing the vanilla game. In his opening remarks, he mentioned that he was behind zones such as Desolus, Feralas, Ashenvale, and Stonetalon Mountains.
Come on now.
Despite the Q&A being 2 years ago now, I noticed that Mike was very active on Reddit, albeit almost always posting about non-WoW related stuff. Now, I'm not usually one to pry, but man, if anyone knew what was going on here, it would be this guy, and I'm in way too deep to quit now. I just had to ask. So I did.
It's getting interesting,
Now,
I gotta say.
honest, I had no idea how to open a conversation with a guy who I don't know, and who doesn't know me. I'm not a journalist, I'm a WoW player. By nature, I'm very antisocial and tend not to talk to people unless they talk to me. But this guy wasn't just going to talk to me by himself, so I decided to try to play it cool. Didn't want to come off as too pushy or anything like that. So I said, "Hey there, is it true you worked on Vanilla WoW back in the day?" Honestly, I didn't expect to get an answer, but shockingly enough, he responded almost instantly. Yup. Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. The ice was broken. I just had a question about one of the zones. Nothing serious, just some trivia that I wondered if you could answer. 2 minutes later, shoot. Talkative guy. I've been on Classic WoW recently and leveling up in Stonetalon Mountains. I've noticed that for some reason, my character dies at set times in the early hours of the morning for seemingly no reason. I know it sounds bonkers, but do you have any idea why that is? It's been driving me crazy for days now. After I asked this, the guy just went completely silent. I'll be honest, I was pretty pissed off. If anyone would know why, it would be this guy, and he just bailed on me for no reason. I figured that all hope was lost and that I'd never know what was behind this, and with my limited audience, there was no way I could make a big enough deal out of it to try to get people to figure it out. So, case closed, I guess. Or so I thought. I am not joking with you. 10 months later,
What?
I get another message from Mike. The message literally just said, "The SoCal Lady Killer." I'm like, what? No response. Guy just goes completely quiet again. The SoCal Lady Killer?
Is this shit for real, man?
I thought that perhaps he had meant to message someone else and this was sent to me by accident.
Southern California
Decided
Lady
to
Killer?
look into it and this...
So hold on. I don't mean to break the immersion in the story here. I'm actually quite familiar with serial killers. I've got kind of a fascination with the macabre, and I've never heard of the SoCal serial killer, but that doesn't mean anything.
This is what came up. The SoCal Lady Killer is the nickname given to an unidentified serial killer who is believed to be behind the murder of 3 women in Southern California throughout the years of 1995 and 1996.
Really?
There is no direct evidence that links the 3 murders together. The modus operandi of the killer was seemingly identical in all of the cases, with the victims' bodies being mutilated in an almost identical fashion each time. The 3 women, all of which were prostitutes, were believed to be lured to a secluded area by the killer, whereby they were then murdered. Again, I had no idea what this had to do with what I asked, until
What the hell,
I read
man?
this part. The first victim was 28-year-old Whitney Fangson. On the 2nd of August 1995, her body was found on the outskirts of the Wind Shear Lumber Mill.
What?
Police reports
Are you
state that she
shitting
was
me, man?
officially declared dead at 2:14 a.m.
Get the fuck out of here.
4 months later, on the 5th of December 1995, 25-year-old Sophie Riven was found in an almost identical state at a hotel room in the nearby village of Los Chared. Police reports state that she was declared dead at 2:47 a.m.
Are you shitting me, man?
The third and final victim,
Dude,
was
I got chills
32-year-old
right now.
Amy Rassan, who 2 months later, on the 17th of February 1996, was found dead by climbers at the base of Sokol Peak. Police reports state that she was declared dead at 2:28 a.m. Windshear Lumber Mill was the basis for Windshear Crag. Lost Charred was the basis for the Charred Vale. Sockle Peak was the basis for Stonetalon Peak.
Okay, hold on. I got fucking chills. There's things that just aren't really lining up. Like, I'm not a gullible person, but this is interesting as shit. Do they include times of death? I mean, obviously they would in a police report, but like on Wikipedia, I don't think you could find that information. This is quite weird, though.
The timing of the victims' deaths correlate exactly with the timing of my characters. The mystery had been solved. The seemingly random deaths are an Easter egg referencing the SoCal Lady Killer.
What?
But that's a pretty weird Easter egg, don't you think? I went to ask Mike what on earth made him want to add that in the game. But again, I got no response. But this time, it was different. You see, in the past when I was blanked, Mike was still actively using Reddit obsessively on a daily basis. But ever since that last message, he had stopped completely. Not many people know this, but the state of California actually has an online public database of all its residents that states basic information about them, such as their criminal record, driving viability, and yes, whether they are dead or alive.
Is that true? I don't think that's true, man.
You're never gonna believe what I found. Michael John Crond, 54, death by suicide. On the 13th of August 2021, the exact same day that he last messaged me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Crond, World of Warcraft developer from 2004 to 2006, was the SoCal Lady Killer.
Holy
Stonetalon
fuck,
Mountains,
dude.
a zone which he designed, is nothing more than a direct reference to the crimes he committed 10 years prior to joining Blizzard.
What?
It is an open mockery of his victims, hiding the truth in plain sight while taking great pleasure in how no one else can see it. Typical serial killer behavior. But if you aren't convinced yet, then let me show you this. Every single chasm has a rare mob that is a direct reference to one of the victims.
Okay, hold on, man. The guy in that picture looked like he was maybe 30-something years old, and they're talking about 95 and 96. That doesn't... Maybe it's an older picture. Maybe I'm overthinking this.
Whitney Fangson died outside of the Windshear Lumber Mill. Meanwhile, in the Windshear Crag, there's an NPC called Taskmaster Whipfang.
What?
Sophie Riven died in Lost Charred. Meanwhile, in the Charred Vale, there's an NPC called Sister Riven. Amy Rasan died on the base of Sockle Peak. Meanwhile, in the Stonetalon Peak, there's an NPC called Sentinel Amma Rasan. The cherry on top. In the only safe place in the entire zone, the Sunrock Retreat, is an NPC called Crond. Crond, the Butcher.
What?
So the question you're probably asking yourself is, why? Why would he commit suicide? Well,
oh, he's born in 72, so that's
to the SoCal Lady Killer's wiki page.
That flies then.
It reads, after being a cold case for over 25 years, on the 2nd of August 2021, LAPD Police Chief Ed Jens announced that the SoCal Lady Killer case had been reopened due to advances in forensic technology that may help finally bring the victims some justice. Mike Crond knew that he was about to be found out. Thus, he ended his own life as to escape justice.
What?
But folks, do you want to know the worst part about all of this? The worst part is, I just made all that up. That's right, Mike Crond is not a serial killer. In fact, Mike Crond isn't even real. Hell, his picture isn't even real.
The fuck out of here, man.
AI. There's no such thing as the SoCal Lady Killer, and my character didn't even die randomly in the Stonetalon Mountains. I just got a friend of mine to use the neutral auction house to trade me a dark rune. Hell, even the character isn't even the same. So, the question you must be asking is, why?
What the
Why did I
fuck,
make
dude?
up this entire story? Well, you see, it's simple. If I can come up with an interesting and somewhat believable story that grips people enough to keep them listening for 20 minutes about the pissing Stonetalon Mountains, no less, then Blizzard has no excuse to not write a good story of their own, especially with their ridiculously overpaid writing team at their
Ouch.
disposal. Dear WoW lore team, get it together, you absolute amateurs.
Fucking hell, man. That's a hard slap. Holy shit, dude. Okay. Okay. Well, I gotta say, that was a hell of a story that guy came up with. Like, for fucking real. Wow. It gave me chills a couple of times, but I was kind of on to something when his character died and you saw the little animation, whatever the fuck was happening there. Oh man, that was pretty damn good though. Thanks for the link, Maddie. That was quite entertaining. Anyway, you guys and gals take care. Maybe I'll see you in another reaction video. Peace.